Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. This is our first time taking part in the Our Kids Roundtable, and we're super excited about it. So away we go. My name is Megan Gold. To my left, although it may be different on your screen, is Susie Bellisario. We are members of the City Academy admin team. Also joining us as our Zoom master is Raisha Stedman, one of our absolutely fantastic teachers. So on our panel tonight, who just ran away, but I'm sure will be back in a moment, is Turner, who is a grad of ours from last year. There he is. And his parents, Lauren and Michael, who are also current parents to Mason, who's in grade 10, and Joey, who is in grade 12. So we're going to start with those predetermined questions that were sent out to everyone, so you know. Turner, I think we'll just start with you and go through all of them. If anybody has any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box, and then at the end of the preset questions, we'll get to any of your questions and go from there. So Turner, I've just asked to unmute you.
I did that.
There you are. All right. You ready to go?
Yep.
So number one, what did you appreciate most about the school during your time there? And how has your perspective on that changed now that you have some distance from the school?
I felt like it allowed me to get kind of like base, it's hard to explain, but like understand, like with the small classes, it allowed me like to understand how I learn and like how to like, you have more of that one-on-one, so you get like, you can focus more on yourself. And like now not being there, like it has like taught me to be a bit like, I like learn like how I learn better. So like when I'm learning online, I like have tools from City Academy that like now I can pursue in like a university experience.
So what you learned here, you found has carried over for you.
Yeah, it's like learning how to learn and like kind of getting like the fundamentals down.
And your dad mentioned learning to be on time for appointments.
Yeah.
That's a good life skill to have.
Yeah.
All right. What, to the best of your knowledge, most differentiates the school from others?
I'd say like a big thing is having like teachers that enjoy teaching the subjects that they are. Like seeing your teacher be motivated like allows you to be more motivated, because if you see some like your teacher just trying to get through, then you kind of have that mentality that you're not going to try to get really into the subject yourself. Like all the teachers are like really enthusiastic. Like Joan really enjoys like teaching economics. It just makes it like so much easier to learn because he likes it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And same for other teachers as well.
Awesome. If the school were to be represented as a single person, what would its personality be like in only 3 words? That's a tough one.
Can you say the question one more time, please?
Absolutely. If the school were to be represented as a single person, what would its personality be like in only 3 words?
Fun, like education, like I don't know if you can use that, like educational and like honest. Like if you do like poorly or in something, like having the honesty of like going through every like small detail on what you did wrong instead of just giving you a paper back. Like it's easier to get feedback when talking to somebody instead of having like notes written on the side of a paper.
And that sort of tunes into what you said at the start, the relationship that as a student you had with your teachers.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, what one thing would you change about the school for the better if you had to choose something?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I really actually don't know, to be completely honest.
Because you came from a public school, right?
Yeah.
So is there something you missed from there? Because we are a
Like,
much smaller school.
so like, I was able to make like good friends at City Academy that like, I still hang out with, or was able to hang out with before I moved out. I think it's hard sometimes moving from a school where you've had those friendships. But like what like you're able to do is like school is like just a place. Like it's not like it like is actually like your school isn't accountable for your friendships. So your friendships are able to like be like everywhere. So I say the only thing is like leaving my friends, but it didn't affect like our friendships whatsoever. So like, I'm not sure.
Oh, that's a good answer. Good answer. What would families find most surprising about the school?
Um, I would say like probably how much like like kids actually enjoy being taught. Like if I like we talked to like any of my friends that went to City Academy, it's like they all have like that one teacher or two teachers that like really made the difference for them. So you can talk to them and they'll be like, if you like ask them, then they'll like all like probably say like the teachers because like you are able to make those relationships that like that most parents or kids like don't believe that they can have with a teacher. And see, that's why the most surprising thing like I found personally is like not realizing that like you have so like you know a lot in common.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good. What advice would you give to students just entering the school?
Um, get like make sure you're on top of your work because like especially being like a university, it's like getting behind on your work makes it so difficult to like catch back up and like you still like even with smaller class sizes like you're not short of any work and like just like make sure you're on top of your work because getting behind and like making those habits of like doing your work late like will not help you.
Some very good advice. All right. Well, Turner, those are your questions. Thank you so much. So I'm going to mute you now and switch over to your parents, and we'll come back to you for some audience questions.
Okay.
Thanks. Hello, Lauren and Michael. You are the next contestant on The Price is Right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And I can hear you, perfect. All right, ready to go?
Ready to go.
Why did you choose the school originally? In which ways is the school what you expected, and which ways is it not?
We initially chose the school. Turner had finished his grade 12 year and had his effort didn't match his the marks that he wanted to achieve for university. So we started researching different schools in this category, the smaller private schools. And after meeting with Sheila at the time, she walked us through and we really just wanted somewhere where I didn't want his hand held, but we wanted him to get the tools and get the reality for university. And we really felt that after our meeting with City Academy that was going to be something that was achieved there. And that's now evident with how Turner's been performing. So yeah, we were really happy. We had some tough experiences. We had done some online experiences with some of the smaller private schools that would be comparable to yours with very little support. And we felt like it was just a money grab. And we just really wanted there to be that school feel because, you know, as Turner said, that one teacher, that one person that has an impact on a student can totally change the landscape of how they view learning or take their life to the next step. And if you don't, as a parent, get that impartial third party support system, it can be hard because they don't want to listen to you.
So after looking at all the schools, we thought City actually had the most balanced approach to actually preparing the student for moving beyond. We thought the other schools were interested in passing them and getting them through, but success thereafter wasn't the primary concern. And it proved to be right because Turner went from a C student to a 87 average. He's now in UBC. And so far, in a very difficult year, he is doing very well. And we're proud of you, Turner.
And I guess you guys have a bit of a different perspective than a current parent because you're not only current, you're parent of an alumni. So
Yeah.
the last question in that was, in which ways is the school what you expected and in which ways is it not? Is there anything?
I think the school has been, regardless of what we were told, I think there's still always a stigma around this type of education. And it's been more challenging than I thought, and in a good way, and more rewarding. So we now have 2 children that are active, grade 10 and grade 12, and Turner, who has come through. You know, we are confident that the kids aren't just learning the topics and courses they're studying, but they are developing confidence and security in themselves that they're capable. And they wouldn't do that in a spoon-fed education. They're actually learning to learn, they're learning discipline, and most importantly, they're feeling good about it.
Yeah, that was our biggest fear with a smaller privatized facility, is wondering, are they just going to be given, are they going to be handheld, and then when they get to university, are they going to blow up? And we were pleasantly surprised by the workload and the retention of it. Like, we could tell that they were being pushed, but that they were rising to the occasion as the workload pushed through.
Thank you. Moving on, what is the biggest impact the school has had on your child?
We're probably going to repeat ourselves a little bit. Confidence in managing and demanding workload. That's, you know, I think he can get in a classroom of 30 students with the way our situation was before for our kids' education. I think kids can get lost. So the workload might still be demanding, but they can just completely lose sight of actually doing it, and you don't really find out. Whereas now there's somebody on them, and then there's somebody saying, you know, this is the way it's going. And like for Joey in grade 12, Joey was up till 1:30 in the morning for the first 2 weeks of school, just because the chemistry hit him hard, but he was rising to the occasion, and he, you know, asked for extra help and didn't get over it. At no stage did he give up, whereas I found some in their previous public school, they would just fall by the wayside. So that's the confidence in managing their own education has been huge for the boys.
Great. Thank you. What does your child have to say about the school, or your children?
I think they're all pleasantly surprised. Like, they're enjoying it. As we talked to you guys a little bit earlier, Mason, grade 10, more social year for him. Joey has his eye on the prize. Joey wants to get into university, so he's at a different level, but Mason didn't want to leave his friends and was really feeling that was going to be a struggle, and he's really enjoying his experience there. You know, it's a smaller year, so not as many friends as maybe as Turner has made, but his confidence in education and his confidence in teachers and his abilities has that I think that's where they're big kind of they there's no hassle getting them off to school, and there was constant hassle to get them out of bed before, and now they're up and they're going and they're motivated, which is just a nice pleasant change for them.
Yeah, Mason last year had on his report card 17 lates in second term. I don't think he's been late. Not to our knowledge, he hasn't been late for City. He's left here on time. He might have stopped at Tim Hortons on the way. And it starts earlier. It starts at 8:30. I think if you could ask them if they could change one thing, it would be the start time, but we love it. We love that they're actually at the house. And I'd say it's...
I just think they're pleasantly surprised they're enjoying it and motivated.
Joey, our oldest, is registered or was registered at the advanced STEM program at John Polanyi, which is a specialized, SMR, so science, math, robotics. He was reluctant to leave the program because he's been doing it for 3 years and this was the payoff year. He has openly said that he's understanding the chemistry better. He's understanding the math better. He's happy to be at City. And especially this year, their classes aren't even really going yet. The teachers are confused. And, for us, that was a big decision, was we didn't believe the public system would keep up with challenges of COVID. And even something like this, a Zoom call, they're not capable of running it. And so, we came to you guys and you gave us a plan that they would start school on September 8th. And they started school on September 8th. There wasn't a 1 week and then another week and another week delay. They started, they got into it. They had finished their first tests and first English essays prior to their friends even starting class. So the fact that I think not just the education, but interesting for them to see accountability in action was important. And it's just a good skill for them to have as they get older.
Great. And this question was also posed to Turner. If the school were to be represented as a single person, what would its personality be like in only 3 words?
Confident, hardworking, and fair.
I think that's what the students are. The schools would be...
well, the teachers are confident.
Yeah.
They're hardworking. And they're fair.
I was going to say structured and high expectations. I'll use 2 words for one meaning, high expectations. That's 3 words total. I slipped it in there.
Can you talk about those at all? Like why those words?
I think what we mentioned before, it's just interesting that, again, the expectation of what I think people think when they look at the private schools. I think the boys were shocked. They came home on day 1. They're like, wow, I have an essay due in 2 days. I have an exam in 7 days. So there hasn't been, there was a course schedule given at the start of the year and it hasn't wavered, and they've learned quick that you keep up or you fall behind. They've also seen, I should say, supportive is put in there. Joey was finding the workload challenging, and the teachers made themselves available physically, online, by telephone, whatever he needed, so he didn't fall behind. And I don't believe they spoon-fed him. They just helped him learn and helped him get on top of it. And again, for me, and Lauren spends more time with him than I do, but for me, the huge difference is the confidence in their own ability.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. How would you describe the values of the school and the values of the families in the school community?
We don't, the only thing, we don't know anybody there except for you guys. So I can't speak to that portion of it, but the values of the school, I think that the professionalism of the teachers is huge. The teachers bring to the table, a passion for learning, and as Turner said, that resonates through the student. And then, you know, when we first met, and going back to Sheila, she was just a no kind of
Bullshit.
BS person. Like she just said, I have an honest framework with the students, and I feel like Susie and now you, Megan, are very transparent with the kids about, and the teachers too, like how they're doing and how that affects them, and it doesn't fall by the wayside. Like it's, you know, cause and effect is very much relevant in the values of the school. Like the kids have a very clear understanding of, you work hard, you're going to get the result. You don't, sorry, like it, you know, it's just not going to happen. So I think that's super integral, again, to come from a third party source when it comes to educating those teenage years.
Great. Thank you. Well, those are all of our preset questions.
Okay.
So I will open up the floor to Mirzana. If you have any questions, you can either type them in the chat box, or you know what? I'm just going to unmute you.
I was going to jump in on one thing there.
Oh,
You
sure.
asked about family values. What's interesting to me is that, and Turner might be able to comment on this, one of his friends at UBC is someone that went to City Academy, and they have become friends. And Joey now is skateboarding with a guy that he met there. So they are the network. I think when we thought they'd just be dropping in for classes of 3 and it was purely education, Joey and Turner have both met and developed friends there. Not a ton, but 1 or 2, and they seem to be very aligned. So you'd asked that question. It just hit me that Turner did meet someone.
Wonderful. Well, and Turner, I might come back to you on that for a minute. You mentioned that you did have friends that had come to City. Can you speak to where they are now and how they're doing?
Yeah, so one of my good friends, his name's Brady. We met at City Academy, and I believe right now he's at Laurier and either computer sciences or engineering. I forget the one.
That's okay.
But no, like we played golf a couple times together after like this, like in like the last couple months, which is nice to see him.
And how is he finding his program?
He loves it. Like kind of what he said is like it's a lot of work, but like no, like he and now like understands how he learns and what he likes. So like sorry, I lost my train of thought. But like he now understands like how he learns best, and especially with online school. It's like you can either just do what the teacher's asking and just take notes, but if you know how you learn, like that can make the difference between you succeeding or not succeeding in school. So I think he developed those like learned like ways that he can like think. I think he's expanded his own knowledge on what he like his potential is.
And just out of curiosity, what percentage of your classes are you actually in class? Or are you completely online right now?
So I'm completely online with 1 Zoom call a week because so many kids are in different time zones. So it's kind of like you go at your own pace, but you have to get done like you have to just be done a certain amount of work before you have a preset test, but that's all up to you on how you get the work done. So it's like very like, of course they're really, really self-reliant. Like if you do the work, then you'll do great, but you won't have a teacher there telling you that you have to catch up. You'll know that when you start to fail all the tests and assignments.
So do you feel that the work ethic that you picked up in your last year of high school helped you to stay on top of your own work in this very virtual model?
Yeah, like City Academy was a lot of work. Like you get lots of work, and knowing how to do that work to like the best of your ability and being efficient is like how like so far I'm only a month in, so I have like, but we're at coming to midterms now. And like being good with your time is like the biggest issue many people here are finding. It's like making sure that you're giving yourself enough time to study as well as finish assignments is a lot of people's big issues up here. But I think that like in the last year I made like healthy habits that have like allowed me to like succeed thus far.
Glad to hear that. I was also going to ask you, what would you say at City was your favorite course?
Probably economics.
Which is what you're studying now.
Yeah, or I took English with Lucas, which was pretty fun.
Awesome. So I see Rosanna just asked a question here. So for a student that has extracurricular activities in a job like Alexander, given how stringent the timelines are at City, would students be able to balance both the academics and the extracurricular? Lauren, can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, well, Turner all the way through worked at Sporting Life. So hey, he can probably speak to it too, but he worked at Sporting Life, had a full-time job, plus worked as a snowboard instructor. He's one of the head snowboard instructors at Beaver Valley. So their extracurricular activities were pretty intense, and his responsibility either in the city or up north, he was fairly busy. So I think you can speak to that, T, if you want to.
Yeah, so like I used to like for winter I'd work like all weekends because I would be like instructing, and like during the week for the summer, the weekends I would work like 2 weekends and like a shift or two during the week. But I was able to go I was signed up for like the homework program, where it's like you just like work in a room and you have like a teacher there who's able to help you, but they also call you out if like you're not working. So I was able to kind of like get knocked down off the high horse of thinking I'm allowed to go on my phone all the time and just like getting the work done. So I was like, able to do all those other things.
Thank you. Rosanna, anything else we can answer for you or get into for you?
No, all the questions that I wanted to ask, you've a really, am I unmuted? A really great job in preparing the types of questions that I think a lot of parents would have that are considering City Academy for their children. I think it's great that Turner was able to join us and his parents. So it gives two different perspectives, which is very important when you're trying to make this decision. I also spent a lot of time talking to you all on Saturday, so I really don't have any other questions, but if anything pops up, I'll send it through the chat.
Wonderful.
Thanks everybody for your time, and Turner and your parents. That's really nice that you took the time to do this. So appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We really appreciate the role you guys have played in helping prepare our children for the future. So, and there's one more
Future
coming.
City Academy student.
Exactly. Say hi,
Can I
buddy.
ask you two one more question? One of the things that I think Turner spoke to quite a bit, hi there, is the relationship they have with the students. Can you speak to your access to, the relationship with the teachers. Can you speak to your access to the teachers and the response time from them if you have any questions or concerns about what's taking place in the class?
Yeah, they've been awesome. We were able to kind of, especially when Turner first started, we just kind of had touch points here and there just to make sure we knew that everything was getting done. And the response time was within like a school day or even right away. And even this year we spoke directly with Joey's chemistry teacher, and he assured us that everything was on track, and you know, and it was he delivered, was really nice, is he delivered the exact same message that Joey delivered us, which is sometimes a variable when they often give you a different kind of story. But he gave, Joey just required more memorization. He just required more time on the unit where he didn't perform as well as he had wanted to, and but was really reassuring. So yeah, the response time's been quick and very open dialogue with about the students.
And Turner, did you find that as well when you needed some help from your teacher outside of class time? Were you able to get a response or get that extra help?
No, always, like, very, like, a good thing about having small class sizes is, like, you don't have like the big class, like 35 kids messaging teacher roughly like the same questions. So you're able to get like answers like if you're sending an email same day or after class, you were able to, like, for the teachers that were still there, you were able to ask them questions and you were able to get like answers to the problems you're having like very quickly, which was nice. So,
Excuse me.
Bless you.
COVID.
Not funny.
Susie, is there anything you'd like to ask? I'll unmute you for just a moment. Hi.
Hi. No, I just want to say that I wish Turner would come back and speak to all of our grads or the students that are moving towards graduation this year, because you have some really good points and some very good insight, and I think they'd benefit from it. So I'm going to be tapping you on the shoulder to run a Zoom call so you can talk to your brother and all the other 10 grads that are coming through here this year.
Susie, there's nothing he likes more than a crowd.
Awesome. Awesome. It's good to know. Good to know.
Well, a great big thank you for taking the time to be here and speaking about our school, which we are big fans of, but we're a little biased. I like to think we offer a wonderful program, and we love to hear stories like Turner, where off to university and you're able to use all of those, not just the education, but the skills you learned here to deal with what is going to be a very challenging first year of university. I mean, this is not the norm. So good for you, Turner.
thank you.
Good luck on your midterm tonight. I'll let you go start getting a last minute studying in.
No need for last minute studying.
You're ready to go?
There you go.
Right.
Okay.
Wonderful. Like to hear that. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Have
guys.
a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.